Happy Monday, everybody. Two things I wanted to talk to you about to get the week started. The first thing is the concept of never allowing for a vacuum. Never allowing for a vacuum. What does that mean? It means that whenever you take something away from an activity or a routine that you do, or from your diet, or from anything that forms a regular aspect of your life, then you must find something healthy to replace it. So, for example, let's say that you're going to stop smoking cigarettes. Let's say that you always smoke a cigarette after you have a meal. Never make room for a vacuum then means to plan for success. When you decide to stop smoking cigarettes, you have to be smart enough to look ahead and realize that part of your routine, something that you're really going to be missing, is that cigarette after supper. So planning ahead, then, you can plan for something to replace that cigarette. It can be a walk. It can be a hot shower. It could be a donut, a cup of coffee, anything like that. So you're setting yourself up for success because nature hates a vacuum. We've all heard that, right? In terms of emotional health, it's really important to remember never allow for a vacuum. So if currently there is some unhealthy thing that you do that you would like to stop doing, and you want to set yourself up for success, the way you do that is you plan ahead and say, all right, well, if I'm going to try to eliminate that behavior, I have to have in mind what behavior is going to replace it, or what activity is going to replace that thing. Now, with that in mind, I'm starting a diet when you see this. So today for you, I'm starting a diet today. And I thought, well, maybe some people would like to join me in my efforts. Now, I've had time to think about this, and you have not. So here's my recommendation. Don't try to do it today. Instead, wait until next Monday. So then you'll give yourself about roughly the same amount of time to mentally and emotionally prepare yourself for success, the same as I did. I started thinking about this a week or even 2 weeks ago. So of course I stuffed myself full. Everything I liked this weekend, ate too much, and I'm already preparing for tomorrow to start this diet. Now, let me share with you what I have planned for this diet, and then you can follow this if you'd like. Now, keep in mind that this is a diet for a 46-year, I'm 46 now, right? Yeah, 46. So this is a diet for a 46-year-old man. I weigh about 200 pounds right now. I am 6 feet tall. And so this diet, I've designed this diet for me. Now, I'm not giving you any diet advice whatsoever. This is just for me. I think the recommendation is that you always check with your doctor before you start a diet. I don't do that. I'm not suggesting that you don't do that. I'm just saying that I don't, because I figure I've got a pretty good enough head on my shoulders to know what I'm doing. And I'm stubborn, so there's that. Here's what I've got planned, and hopefully I've got my phone screen on your screen so you can see what I'm looking at. Okay, so here's what I have planned for this diet. Number one, strictly avoid carbs. Carbs are things like bread, sugars, anything sweet like that. Carbs are in potatoes. They're in everything, so avoiding carbs can be difficult if you don't know what carbs are. So do your homework there. Number two, try to stay at or under 1,500 calories. Now, that's a little bit extreme for a guy my size, but that's what I'm going to be planning on doing. If you're a woman, of course, the calories you'd want to stay under are even lower than a man's, but Again, I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just saying you do your homework, come up with the calories that you want to stay under. You know, the idea for any successful diet is it's very simple. It's simply consuming fewer calories than you use every day. So calorie is just a unit of energy, you know, that powers our body, it makes our heartbeat, our bodies work. So the idea is that if you take in fewer calories than what you're burning if you take in fewer calories than what you're burning every day, you will lose weight. That's just the way it works. So I'm going to try to stay at or under 1,500 calories. I feel like for me, that's completely doable. I won't be walking around starving. I'll be satisfied. And you know, if I apply the principle that I just shared with you, never leave room for a vacuum. Always replace the things that I'm used to with something healthy or some alternative thing. I should do all right. My mind should stay off of my belly. Number 3, drink plenty of water. Loads of water, in fact. So I'm going to be planning on drinking at least 8 bottles of water. There's a couple reasons for that. First of all, have you ever noticed that if you ever feel hungry and you think, why am I hungry? It's not time to eat, and I just ate not too long ago. If you get yourself a bottle of water, a couple bottles of water, and you just drink them down real quick and fill up your bottle with that water, you'll notice that your hunger goes away. So I'm going to be really leaning on water that way. Number 4, strictly avoid alcohol. That's tough for me because I really enjoy a glass of bourbon in the evening, and sometimes more than one glass of bourbon. But you can see here I'm already applying my rule of never leaving room for vacuum by drinking tea tonight. Typically tonight on a Sunday night, I'd be enjoying a little bit of bourbon. I'm not tonight, so I'm already getting into the habit of replacing that routine with some alternative that complements my goals, my diet goals. So green tea. Something tells me I'm going to be drinking a lot of tea for the first month. Number 5, something that I've not been too good at lately. I'm going to try to exercise daily. My reasons for doing this are not completely for losing weight. Most of it, my interests are in health. I just want to feel healthier, and so I'm going to exercise daily, except for on the weekends. My routine is I'm planning on lifting free weights Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then I'm planning on just an evening walk, probably with Orson or Brady, on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And again, I'm not going to go crazy with this. It's just going to be 15-20 minutes of lifting and maybe an hour-long walk, maybe a 40-minute long walk. I just need to move more. I just want to move more and just stay active. And so that's what my thinking is for that. And you know, they kind of feed off each other, don't they? I mean, it's always a pain in the butt to get an exercise routine or an activity routine like that started. But once you do, that and a diet feeds off of each other, right? You're doing well with your diet. You feel your sore muscles from where you were lifting the weights, and you think to yourself, even though I'm a little bit hungry and I'm for some reason I'm thinking about Hershey's Kisses or you know, a candy bar, I don't want to undo the hard work that I just put into lifting those weights, so I'm not going to do it. And so they really complement each other. That's my plan. Now, number 6, sleep. This is really important. You're really working against yourself when you start a diet if you're not getting good sleep. So I'm going to personally set my bedtime for midnight, even for an irredeemable night owl like myself. That's fair. That'll should give me plenty of sleep. And what that means is that I'm going to try to be in bed by 12, relaxing with a book or whatever to make myself relax and fall asleep. Number 7. This one is also very important. Eat at the same 3 times a day, every day. It's very important. get that routine. Eat at the same time, same 3 times a day, every day. Number 8, my emphasis is going to be on protein, so on meats. Basically, I'm going to allow myself to eat any meat that I want, and it'll all be grilled. Eggs, egg whites especially, stuff like that. Some nuts, but protein. Protein is going to be what my focus is going to be. And what's nice about protein is that it has the effect of making you feel full for a longer amount of time than anything like carbs does or fats. Let's see here. Number 9, I'm not going to check my weight. So I have not weighed myself, and I'm not going to check my weight until I've been on this diet for 2 weeks. So 2 weeks from the time you see this video will be the first time I weigh myself. And the reason for that, the reason I'm going to make that my starting weight is because I don't want to discourage myself before I even get started. So I'm going to wait 2 weeks, let myself get totally committed to this diet or lifestyle change. And by that time I will be completely invested. When I get on the scale, if I'm shocked or saddened by what I see, there's not as big a risk of it disheartening me to the point that I give up, because I'll already be deeply invested into it. Again, it's like one of those things where you go, well, I'm already this far into this that I don't want to undo all my hard work. And number 10, we already talked about it earlier, didn't we? And this applies to matters involving emotional health. It applies to matters involving any authentic recovery. Oh, and it also applies to, physical aspects of health and any aspect of life, really. Never take something away without replacing it with something else. So, for example, I quickly come up with something that would replace the glass of booze that I would typically be enjoying right now. And so I'm not suffering. I'm not just sitting here feeling the vacuum of that routine nagging at me, because I've got something here, I'm sipping on it, and it's satisfying me and making the job much, much easier. So never allow for a vacuum. I think this went kind of long, but remember, if you would like to join me with this, you guys see me on camera every week, all the time. So you'll start to see my face start to thin down. You'll start to see me start to hopefully tone up as these videos go on. So that's going to be encouragement for me to not give up, because I know that you folks are going to be seeing me. If you would like to join me in this effort, I think it would be fun for us all to kind of be doing this together and checking our progress with one another. And we can do that right here on Locals as we progress. But my recommendation is don't try to start this cold turkey. Plan, if you want to join me on this diet or health style change, plan to begin it next Monday. So plan out for it, and that way you have plenty of time to prepare, get the things from the grocery store you think you're going to need, get rid of all the stuff in your cupboards that you think are going to be tempting and aren't going to be good for you, and really prepare and set yourself up for success. I'm interested in hearing what you folks think about this. I hope you had a great weekend, by the way, and but I'm looking forward to seeing what you folks had to say about this and where we go with it, and I'm looking forward to seeing my youthful, handsome face come out from underneath all these layers of pandemic weight.